Hey guys, as many of you will recall, a couple weeks ago, I announced that we're doing a Smash Bros. Ultimate Tournament for Lights Out. That tournament is still very much happening. However, it has been moved back by 1 week. So I apologize for that. I hope it doesn't cause any inconvenience. It'll now be happening on November 28th. Still going to have that $2,000 prize pool available. All information is available in the link in the description of this video. Sign up on start.gg and yeah, come compete for a lot of money and have a good time. It is once again time for what I would like to believe is your favorite time of the week. Coming to you a little bit earlier, it's Lights Out episode 36 with EE, Cosmos, and Light. Before we do anything, it is imperative to remind you, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment on the content, all those three things, the big three right there, the triforce of algorithm to help push us further into the YouTube matrix and push us further into 75,000 potential subs that we appreciate. But this greatness, it comes at a price. The price being I have to work with these two gems. Cosmos and Light, how you doing?
He's holding us hostage. We don't see any of the profit margins. We need help.
Patreon coming soon.
How's it going today, guys? How are we feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling great. You know, I finally, now, as you can see, I'm traveling to Ohio, so I'm on vacation.
He's American again.
Wait.
I could see the melanin.
Why are you traveling to Ohio? Don't you live there?
No.
That was a joke.
That was a joke.
Bozo.
Yeah.
Come on,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Are you really ready for this episode? I don't think you're ready for this
I don't
episode.
think he's ready.
I'm
Now,
choking already. I'm not gonna lie
For
to you.
everybody who doesn't know, because there's no way you could know, I had a dream about this episode because apparently it was just that anticipated that I had to have a dream about this episode. And I can tell you that I'm pretty unprepared myself. But
He can tell you, see, it wasn't a dream. He saw the future. And he can tell you that we're all unprepared for this episode.
Well, I would like to bring up something that I think you are going to be prepared for, my friend. And I'm talking about Watch the Throne, happening December of this year, 8th through the 10th. Light shines through at Watch the Throne. Light, you're going to be competing at Watch the Throne, right? Ooh.
this is probably the only tournament this year that has announced me and I actually knew I was going. Bro, you can ask Cosmos. There's been like 3 events this year that I'm like, wait, did I confirm for that? Like, I don't remember, but I do know that I'm going to this one. I think.
You are.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about Watch the Throne. It's gonna be a really stacked event, and I mean, I'm gonna do my best there.
I
Are you
know.
going to Genesis Black for it? Too? Like before?
I
or you-
really want to go to Genesis Black, but if you can tell by the background setting of where my living area is, I can't seem to get out of this damn house. So,
Yeah, what the heck?
bro, you don't know,
That didn't even occur to me.
bro. You know how hard it is to move when you have a dog. It's like no one wants you. I'm
Oh.
like, I have money. They're like, no, you don't.
I mean, I just. Never mind. We'll save that for another.
Wait, Cosmos, you're going to Genesis Black too. You told me in a DM that you'll be there. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, I am going to Genesis Black.
Nice.
They asked me if I would be willing to go out, and I was like, of course, because you know LCQ Cosmos has to have another shot at it. So we'll see if I can confirm the spot. I am feeling more mentally sound with how I'm gonna be preparing and practicing and all that. So I do believe in my chances at getting in, and I know that Zama's gonna be there. He's probably gonna be the biggest challenge there because
Mutates too.
top player. Oh, this is going.
I heard a rumor Mutates is going too. Just letting
That's
you know.
great because I like the last couple of times I played Mutis, I was definitely supposed to beat him. I was up like 2-0 and then got reverse 3-0'd, and then I was up 1-0 and a best of 3, and then was up 2 stocks and I got like reverse 2 stock and lost the next game. So I really want my run back against him too. So
Good.
I'm very happy that he's going to. So it's going to be a very fun tournament. I do believe in my chances, and I want to play the people that are there. So I know that I'm not going to be nervous or anything. I know that they're going to be nervous because it's a last chance qualifier spot. That's how the things go. So I do think that my mental game at last chance qualifier tournaments is stronger than other players.
I like that mentality a lot. And of course, we're wishing you the best. You know what else I like too, guys? This episode's guest, Dr. Allen, formerly of Panda Global or Panda. before it was defunct, will be joining us momentarily. But we can't just jump right into it. We got to preheat the oven a little bit. We got something
for that, by the way. No,
What?
let's get this out the way.
What?
Why'd you leak it?
Leak what?
You leaked it.
That Alan was going to be here?
Yeah.
I announce all of our guests before they come on the show.
Gotta
Do
leak
you?
it.
Yes.
It's a precursor so that people will want to.
Nigga, do you watch the content?
We gotta have a surprise every once in a while, you know? I think the surprise would have been crazy. You
We
know?
do have a surprise. The surprise is that one of us is going to be here. That's a surprise every podcast.
No, I just think that it could have been a little more crazy. It would have been like, whoa, you know, like I just think, you know, like, I just think it could have been crazy, you know.
I will consider that going forward, but I just thought it made sense to announce it's a big time guest. Wanted people to know what's coming to them. That's all.
Well, Sakurai didn't announce Ultimate. We thought that was pretty cool. I'm just saying. But anyways,
fair enough.
Like
the
everyone is here stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's true.
But anyways,
stop trying to divert the conversation from you, big man, because you were at a tournament this past weekend and did not win. Can you explain what happened?
Okay, in my defense, I don't have a defense.
There's no defense.
So I went to a tournament. I went there for one reason. It was a very simple reason. I wanted to beat the crap out of Webb JP because Webb beat me at Let's Make Moves Miami, and I was very excited to get my run back because you guys all know that I have my Johns that are legitimate, and I've been playing the game a lot. And when people beat me and I think it's BS, I tend to track you down. I tend to hunt you like Craven. I don't really care. I become obsessive. I want to win. That's like that's the thing my ego does. So
I'm like a bunch of red flags right now.
I'm a good boyfriend. I'm a good boyfriend.
We're done.
No. So anyways, he beat me there literally a few days after I lost to Webb at Let's Make Moves Miami. I played him on Wi-Fi because I wanted to fight him, and I kind of was destroying him. And then we agreed that we would go to a tournament, right, in Connecticut. And him going to the tournament actually bought a lot of Tri-State there. It brought Jackal there. It brought Syrup there. It brought a couple other people. Oh, Guy who beat me at another tournament because he's a Luigi man. He's really good. I think he's the best in New York right now, not counting Zamba. So yeah, there was a lot of talent there. I actually said that was the most stacked event this weekend. It was definitely more stacked than LTC. And yeah, no, it was a smaller event.
My sub tournament was more stacked than LTC, but we go ahead.
We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, so it was definitely a pretty stacked event, but it's just smaller. And I hate this because this happens to me all the time, and I mean it with full offense. I hate when someone beats me. And then we go to the same tournament and then they lose before they can get to me again. And then it's like I can't play them for like another freaking year. It happens all the time. I just got my run back at Jake after like 3 years. You know, Webb lost early. Guy got like 17th uncharacteristically. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I still got to fight Jackal, and Syrup double eliminated me. I'm going to say I think I could have played better versus Syrup, but I think he is the best Steve in America. I think he is sick. I think he is really good at this game. He's very smart, and he's willing to do what it takes to win. And the reason I say that, and I said it before the podcast started, when I played him in Winners Finals, I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect things to go the way they did. I wasn't 100% on. I didn't think it mattered because I was still playing good. Like, I could have still played that way at a major and have been fine, you know? I 3-0 Jackal. You know, I was still playing really good.
Right.
But, like, Syrup was playing very on as if like it didn't matter where he was playing, you know, he just played very good no matter what. And I said it earlier, Steve Mains, they're just always playing their Sunday best, bro. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they're playing. They're still playing Steve, and they're going to make you come to them no matter what, you know? And it's pretty hard for them to drop those up air bread and butters, or like when you really think about it, everything Steve does is kind of like a bread and butter, you know? It's kind of hard to drop those things because it's just textbook for them, you know? It's not like really like a creative path. It's just kind of like something you do because you're used to doing it because your whole game plan is making your opponent come to you.
Right.
You know? It's just resetting the situation. So Syrup was playing very freaking good because he's very used to resetting these situations. And I don't think he was stressed at all. I think Syrup was looking for a big win because he got robbed of a big one at Big House in his opinion. So like he was playing very well versus me. And I'm not going to lie, I just don't think I was ready mentally to fight a top level Steve. I really thought to myself, like, I'm better than this person. I have like a lot on this person, but like, why does it feel like I'm playing catch up? Because it literally feels like I have to like keep approaching him, obviously, because I just don't like, I'm playing against Steve, bro. I'm playing against a very good character. And this is not me complaining about the character, but this is more so me just saying like Syrup played to his advantage just very well. You know, he played very good and it was very surprising. And I think I could win still. I got kind of bullshitted with the jab lock. I don't know if you guys saw that on Twitter. I think I could have won that set, but either way, I think he played very good. I'm not going to John about that. I think he's the best Steve in America. Or if he's not, he's going to be very soon.
Damn.
So what was the jab lock thing that happened? Because I didn't see it.
I hit him with up tilt onto PS2 platform, down hit him off it, and then I, sorry, I've been dying for the last couple of weeks. Then I ran off stage and I fair drag down him on the edge of PS2. And then when I went for the jab lock, he just stood up. So when I went for forward smash, he shielded it and up smashed.
Oh, just like one of those ultimate things.
Yeah, apparently it's just the specific ledge of PS2 platform. You know, no big deal.
No big. It's not like everybody goes to PS2 or anything like that. I mean,
yeah,
no, that's
it's not like I live there.
Yeah, that's still a good run. I mean, it's all about getting the practice, and then, you know, Lord knows we need it against good Steves for
He said he would play Wi-Fi with me. I felt really happy about that because, like, again, I hate Steve, but like, I gotta get better at the matchup.
Yeah.
You know, I still think I'm better. My ego will still put me there, but like, I gotta learn how to fight Steve better, man. That's all there is to it.
There you go. I want to give that's how that tournament went. I do want to give a little mini shout out to, or not a mini shout out, but just a quick point of order to our boy SHADIC. He won low tier city. And I actually restreamed this tournament because I was like, it's probably going to be Mute versus SHADIC in grand finals. Mute got 7th, lost to Dark Wizzy in winners, and then eliminated by Doorstop in losers for 7th. So that was a big surprise. But SHADIC we trust, held it down. The young GOAT bouncing back from Plot Priority 8 to get a win at Low Tier City. Now, this tournament was not advertised well at all, in my opinion. I don't think they advertised it well. People were in my chat like, I'm live in Texas and I didn't know about this tournament, so that's pretty bad. Yeah. I know people...
I'm at the tournament. I didn't know about the tournament.
Yeah, I know people like Louis dropped out. So definitely, like, I think it was like a high C tier, but definitely far from the expectations of the old LTC ways. But nonetheless, good stuff to Wizzy for a great performance, and SHADIC for getting that W. I always want to give SHADIC his flowers. That kid is he's got next, if you ask me.
Up and coming.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy because it kind of feels like he's just been really, really young for like the entire lifespan of the game, like in Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate. And I feel like he's just getting to that age where the people at the age are breaking out, like how Spargo was breaking out at that age. Akola broke out at the age, and I feel like he's just getting to that age now.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Syrup. I was like, "How old are you?" He was like 16. I was like, I was like, he was like 16. I was like, still. I was like, bro, you've been 16 for 4 years. Like, what's going on?
He's a young gun for sure. Yeah, man. And that just goes to show it. But I think it might be about that time. Now, hold on a second. I told you we got Dr. Allen. I told you, listen. I had a dress for the occasion. Hold on.
You didn't answer. Did you not? It's fine. It's cool.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you under the bus right now.
Hold on. I had a dress for the occasion. Hold on. I had a dress for the occasion for this. You know, we come correct all lights out. What's up?
Okay, I'm going to throw you under the bus right now. Okay?
What?
All right, so I had this idea about like this is before Alan was even a concept on the show. I was like, what if we got Alan on the show?
Yeah.
And then we all just started the episode with Panda Global merch. Like we all just had Panda Global jerseys on.
That'd be great.
But I don't own Panda Global merch, so that idea got thrown out the window. But apparently Phil's ready.
Listen, I raided Charles's closet before the episode. Okay.
Why does he have that? no wonder TSM dropped him. They do.
He was a double agent, man. I guess I am too. Don't tell LG, baby. Dr. Allen, come on in. I'm going to tag him in the group chat.
But if he just doesn't join.
He just stands us up. I've already had that happen to me once this week. Please answer.
This man is beautiful.
Damn, Alan, About to make me act up.
That's a power.
About to make me act up. I might take the jacket off.
Haircut.
I don't know if you can hear us.
He's fixing it. Hold on.
Okay.
He said can't hear 1 second. He's troubleshooting. Give him 1 second.
Look at his background, bro.
This is Chris.
He got the. Hold up, I'm zooming in.
I have so many questions right now.
Him and Sonics have some fire backgrounds.
Yeah, if you look at it at a weird angle, it looks like his Phoenix Wright. What's the name from the guy from Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, Phoenix Wright, you jackass.
Right.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, Alan,
like
Alan
has a Yoshi head.
Shut up,
It
Light.
does.
Alan, talk.
How's it going, guys? I like the jacket. Nice EE.
Oh, thank you. Come on, man. You know I had to come. Listen, on this podcast, we come correct, my brother. Okay, I had to let everybody know. Listen, first of all, thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. That is point of order number 1. Number 2, just off a glance, it appears to me your love for gaming has gone nowhere. That background is sick, my G.
Thank you. I actually spent a lot of the last year reconnecting with old loves, and it's not just gaming, but anime. I spent a lot of time in my life really. I learned Japanese just from watching way too much anime.
Damn.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So like I am fluent, and I just never used
Fluent.
Yeah, I fluent-ish. I mean, I can have conversations, but I can't. When patients come to me, I can't like do medical Japanese. That's very
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's hard. But we can have entire conversations, and I just got back from Japan actually. So
really?
you're seeing my new One Piece haul over here too, and there's a law back there as well. You know, some Buddha stuff as well too. So
Is that
That's
Berserk in the
crazy.
in the background?
oh hell yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
oh yeah.
Wow.
That's a really nice statue.
Yeah. Berserk is one of the I watched the original Berserk as it was coming out, the original anime in the 90s.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
really cool, actually. So how you
Damn.
doing, man?
I'm living, one day at a time. I have I've got a full plate, but I'm figuring out what free time is for the first time in my life, I think, in my adult life at least. I've never really had time to just explore life. And, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it.
Honestly, you saying that makes me feel like a bum because I feel like that's all I explore these days.
Thinking the same thing.
I can show you right here. This is all this year, all the books that I've been able to read. I forgot how much I love to read.
You read all them?
Yeah. I got a couple more I'm working on right now. The
Yo.
next one I'm working on is
Well,
on.
We ain't shit.
What do we do?
I think you're a bit overqualified for this podcast.
Yeah, we ain't shit, bro. Oh my
Let me
god.
tell you, I'm on the last hour of the audiobook actually of this one, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And let me tell you, if you want a mindfuck that just it takes you to another level of understanding the world around you, this book it's very good. It's hard to find now, but it's very good.
Damn. Now, I have to ask, was the decision to be able to like kind of reconnect with gaming and do all this reading and just kind of almost like it seemed like reconnect with yourself, was that something that was just kind of like a byproduct of like, kind of like the fallout with like the Smash community? You just like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I lost everything I had worked on for almost a decade of my life
Right.
overnight for really, unfortunately, things that I didn't actually do. And coming to terms with that has been a struggle. And I also, shortly after everything went down, I did my own blood work, which I'd been avoiding for a few years before that.
All right, Morbius, what the hell?
I'm
Keep going.
Now, what do you think I do
Oh,
for a
yeah,
living?
that's true. That's true.
Like this is what I do for my free time, and I've diagnosed I think 3 people with cancer this year so far.
Hell yeah. I mean, not like, hold on.
Okay, keep going. You shut up.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, go on though. You did your own blood work and what?
Yeah, so I did my own blood work, and I saw, unfortunately, how incredibly bad it was. My hormones were off, my vitamins were off, I had like mineral deficiencies. I abused myself as the CEO of Panda and also still being a doctor and practicing. I put myself not even second, but like third or fourth. And with everything that happened, I had to spend time on me and rediscovering myself. But that also came with health and doing better for me on that end. So leaving Panda is not all a bad thing. I actually did genetic test recently that shows you your biological age. So your chronological age is how many years you've been alive.
Okay.
Your biological age is a very complicated calculator that goes over a lot of your DNA methylation, which I won't even bother talking about unless you're interested.
Interested, but
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
We're not qualified for that
Very
conversation.
interested.
Yeah, so it came back as I'm 36 years old, but the calculator said that based on my DNA methylation, telomere length, etc., I'm 42 years old. And so I really destroyed my body. I put everything I had into Panda and into really trying to make something that never happened before.
Right.
So it is what it is. I'm coming to terms with it. The reason why I'm here is that I've found Zen Buddhism, and I think I can handle talking about things, not disturbing my own inner peace anymore. So.
Yeah, because we didn't. I want to make it clear that. Oh, there's a little bit of echo.
I think you're echoing. Or
Me?
No, I think it's Alan.
Okay.
How about that?
No.
I just assume
All right,
it's you.
We're good. No, we're good. Yeah, we just always assume it's a tech issue. It's Cosmo. We just always assume that.
Even when I did not about me, I've always kept this some kind of straight.
We love you.
on.
No, I was gonna say, we didn't bring you on here for any kind of like. Oh, is it happening again? Hello?
I don't hear it.
I don't know. I think I'm just paranoid. Anyway.
Yeah, we're good.
We didn't bring you on here for any kind of like anything like weird or anything like that. I was legitimately curious, like, because you might have saw that Nintendo put in some new rules in place, and I was like, I feel like this is something that Alan had discussed prior to not wanting this to happen, and that's why Panda was kind of like running almost interference. Have you seen these community guidelines that are at this time in effect technically?
Yes. So everything that I know right now with the community has been given to me by other people, like friends of mine, people who still care about me and care about what's happening. They just send me things, send me tweets or comments or this sort of stuff. So I have seen the guidelines and not really surprised. I mean, it's basically everything that you would expect Nintendo to do. I'm more surprised, I think, about the people who thought Nintendo was gone.
Yeah,
I heard that some people felt that was the thing, and I don't understand where that came from exactly.
Explain that, Alan. Explain why some of these people are nitwits.
Well, Nintendo just takes time to do things. And from what I know, again, I'm just repeating things I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo basically shut down their licensing division this calendar year, and I don't think they've actually issued any licenses until now. Because look, in 2019, when I sat down with Nintendo, when the Panda Cup stuff first became a conversation, they said to me they wanted to change their approach to the Smash community.
Okay,
they're going to get more involved, and they wanted to figure out the right way of doing it. The Panda Cup was, after many years of discussions and negotiations, the idea that we came to allow the community to preserve its identity and have its own official thing with minimal Nintendo intervention. There was very little Nintendo intervention involved in Panda Cup, and that was designed purposefully by both Nintendo and us.
Right.
And that was the hope, was that the community could thrive under the Panda Cup umbrella and do our own thing. And then when Nintendo would figure out what they want to do outside of that, if they even needed to do anything, we would have a home. And I say we as if I'm still part of the community, but that's, I think...
You're part of this podcast, Alan. You're part of this podcast,
yeah,
okay?
That's true. You are part of the podcast.
But that was the overarching theme of why we even were given a chance.
Right.
Panda was chosen for a reason because we were part of the community. I was a Brawl player. Like, I've been part of Smash since 2000 and I don't know, whenever the year before Brawl came out, I think, is when I discovered Smash Boards.
Yeah, man, Smash Boards. That's a throwback.
Smash Boards is a throwback.
Yeah, that was the good times. I actually really enjoyed Smash Board. Meeting people from Smash Boards in real life was such a mind fuck. Like, you'd meet people who are complete assholes on the forums, and then you're meeting in real life. You're like, wow, you're actually kind of a cool guy. And then they go back to being an asshole on the forum. And you're like, what the heck?
Shout outs to Mango.
And some things never change.
It's true. I guess it still is the same. Yeah. So,
I will say it's very interesting seeing your adjustment. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious to a lot of people. Like, I don't think anyone would think that like you'd be like in ruin, obviously, because everyone knew that you were a doctor outside of the community. I'm actually surprised that you were able to balance both of those things in your life. But as you make it sound, you know, being a doctor, you actually, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but you are able to have a lot of free times and do things that you enjoy. I think that's really cool.
That is another thing too, because both my parents were also doctors, so I know how time consuming it can be to be a doctor. So to be a doctor and to be the CEO of a company, and like, it's very understandable to see how that could have like just taken away all your time, because it should already take away all your time to just be a doctor, essentially.
Yeah.
I would like to point out, yes, Cosmos, your parents are doctors. That is very time consuming. Do you think it's as time consuming as having to track down a runaway child?
Bro, why is he catching strays? Why?
Go home.
Yo, you're way too nervous. That's not the sound, bro. You're way too nervous.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was funny.
But you know what? I guess it wasn't.
He's doing fine. He's doing fine.
I have something to say. I think that EE prepared to have you on this episode, and I think he is the least prepared for this episode.
It does. That's generally how we operate. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
No, but seriously, it really is good to have you on the episode. Honestly, just hearing about what you've been doing in your life. I mean, you explained it very fast in the beginning. I think that's really cool. Honestly, I'm quite frankly a little jealous even seeing like your little background stuff. But I am happy to see like you're doing well. I don't like social media, and I don't like the whole people are evil thing, you know. I think I'm not here to point fingers to say who did what's right, who does what wrong, but I think over everything, I like seeing people like mentally healthy, because life comes before everything, in my opinion. So I'm happy to see that you were able to find, what did you say, a Buddhism?
Zen Buddhism. So
Zen Buddhism.
That's something I've really taken to a lot in the last couple months, and understanding more about Zen and its philosophies. It's not a religion. The way of life, really. Right. It's the way of perceiving life. It's very, very incredibly deep. It's going on for thousands of years. So, you know, it's longer than Christianity. They've been practicing meditation and things like that. So, it was a struggle. And that's the reason why I've denied a lot of requests for interviews. Yeah. Since, you know, everything that happened. Finding inner peace was probably one of the most difficult things I've done. And, you know, coming to terms with things that are out of my power, that no matter what I say or do, there are people that will just always think that I'm a liar or a cheat or like a mustachioed evil, villain from a comic book or something, like stroking my mustache. Like, I've destroyed you gamers yet again. You know, like something that is so antithetical to who I am as a human being, because I've literally dedicated my life to helping people. My goal as a doctor is to help people. And the reason I loved entrepreneurship and doing Panda so much was that saving lives is great. It is an amazing, amazing feeling. But I could create life with Panda. I could make being a professional gamer or professional graphic artist or special effects artist in Smash a full-time gig. Mm-hmm. That was my passion. That's what really drove me. That's why I never paid myself, because I always said I would rather hire another intern, make another dream come true, than spend any money on myself, because that's why I was doing what I was doing.
I think, and I'd like to say I wholeheartedly believe that, just off of conversations I've had with like other members of like your staff, like Keith, you know what I'm saying? That's one of my boys. Like, he's always spoken very highly of you. I actually helped facilitate this interview actually happening. One thing I really want to ask you though, because like, again, you said how like the internet they'll always just think you're evil. You know, if they read one thing, they'll just boom, believe it as if it's gospel or whatever. Talk to me a little bit. What are some things that, like, if you're comfortable discussing this, what are some things that you had heard that you just like flat out want to like dismiss, like that just aren't true in any capacity? Because a lot of people was talking,
Yeah.
But like, I just want to give you an opportunity to just be like, nah, this guy was full of shit. Or
I made the unfortunate choice of reading a little bit of the Reddit thread that was posted after you mentioned on your stream that I was going to be appearing. And I see
Me too.
We just talked about that.
Yeah. There's so many people there confidently saying absolute lies. Like this is the truth, the absolute truth. And it's an utter lie.
Right.
Things like the Panda Cup did nothing but bring a license. Bro, do you know how much money we brought these events? Do you know how much production value? I put everything in my statement. I have no idea how my statement went across. I did not read the internet. I've been told not
Good
great,
call.
but I had so
Great
many
call.
receipts in there, so much evidence that
Yeah.
people threw away, and I literally disproved most of what people are still repeating and parroting. But there's also a disconnect where a lot of people say different things because I don't think anyone really has a grasp of what truly happened. But let me actually ask you guys something real fast. If you
Please.
don't mind. What exactly did I do?
Let me say before we even get to this, which I want to talk about this in the podcast. And this, again, is not like a gratifying, like, oh, you did nothing wrong, or like people did nothing wrong, VGBC. I'm not trying to say someone was right or wrong. I want to say, because we've talked about this on the podcast before, that I want to apologize because I think if there's one thing that the community did wrong was we made a very super preemptive decision. And I think people just responded to a tweet the way everyone would. And I'm also guilty of this. And I think that was very stupid for the sake of my own community and myself. You know, I think it's very dumb because I think we were just believing whatever came first, which is very stupid. And I hate being part of that like joint cause. And I mean, I don't know what would have came after that, but no matter what, I think something as big as that should have happened. That should have been handled with a lot more time and care.
Yeah.
So I am sorry for being one of those people who is definitely guilty of that.
Thank you. That honestly does mean a lot. It was very, very difficult to see people go back and rewrite history, to dunk on me and my character, to misconstrue and say, remember that thing that happened? He did this because he was evil.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And instead of the reality of the situation, which was never the case. And it was also painful to see that happen from former people who I was close with, people who I've done a lot for and really done my best to be a good person to try to help. Had the response not been so extreme, I think I would have been able to handle the fallout better. I mean, I'm the one that usually writes or at least does the bulk of the writing for a lot of our controversial statements and stuff, and having to do the PR. That's me.
Right.
You know, I couldn't do it this time. I mean, I literally fled my own home because I was getting doxxed. The harassment, the death threats.
That's insane.
Yeah. My family got death threats. People who shared my last name who are unrelated to me got harassed. You know how this is how bad the harassment got. So unfortunately, there's a perfect storm that caused it to happen. You couldn't change your handle on Twitter. At the time was when Elon was trying to deal with impersonators. So people that had Panda, who were very proud to be on Panda at that point, couldn't change their handle and hide that temporarily until the blowback stopped. So everyone who was part of Panda was getting insane amounts of harassment. So while I'm getting harassed, while I'm getting death threats, while I'm being called things and for actions I never took, I'm getting message after message saying, I'm so sorry. I have to leave Panda. I'm afraid for my life. I got text messages from people saying, I'm so sorry. I can't say anything nice about you. I have a family to think about and a career. I cannot go against the tide. I literally I have the text messages here. I'm not going to show them because I don't want to.
No worries.
Who did that? But like these were real messages that I got. One person even said they were in tears having to tender their resignation because they were getting harassed so badly. The harassment got so bad that on our website, we had a model for the merch, unrelated, just paid for a one-time gig to wear our stuff, take some pictures, put it online. They found the model and started harassing her for even wearing our clothes once. We had to. This is before I stepped down. I had to tell them to take down all pictures of people on the website, on the merchandise website. Even Nintendo said the level of harassment they were seeing. Nintendo, they get a lot of harassment.
Yeah.
Nintendo told me the level they were saying of harassment was almost unprecedented. They've never seen anything quite this bad. Multiple law firms and PR firms told me the same thing later. They were like, yeah, that was extreme.
And you know what? And I'm obviously not glad that happened, but I'm glad you gave some context to that, because I think that maybe makes it easier for people to understand why the Panda Cup finale had to be canceled. Like I know it's postponed indefinitely, but
No.
Uh-oh.
So, okay. Let me give a little bit of perspective there too.
Please.
This is certainly something that's never been said publicly. So I'm not looking to shift any blame. I'm not looking for anyone to be harassed or called out or anything.
Okay.
The reason why the Panda Cup finale got canceled, and that cancellation is the reason why Panda is not here right now.
Yeah.
Because that was such a massive financial hit to the company.
Yeah.
So the Panda Cup didn't happen, and because of course there's a lot of death threats and stuff, but we had great security. You know, we were worried about it, and it made people uncomfortable, the staff uncomfortable. But we could have run the Panda Cup theoretically. But before I left, I said, okay, let's try to convert it to an invitational only. There are a decent number of players that are boycotting us who would not go to it.
Right.
But we can use our Sunday venue at least, which is very expensive theater. We could use our Sunday venue, maybe try to get a top 8 or a top 16 or something out of it, you know, and fulfill our sponsor obligations so they can pay us. Because that $2 million made from the sponsors, we had to give it all back.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't earn that. We didn't earn that because that was to come after the finale.
Right.
That was inked. The deals were signed. So the reason why we had to cancel it was because Ludwig decided to run his Scuffed World Tour on the same Sunday as our venue. Ludwig came in to try to save the community, but in doing so, that's really the final nail in the coffin that lost over 150 jobs. Was Ludwig's Scuffed World Tour to raise money for the people who, outside of Nintendo, have done the most damage to the Smash community ever. Ludwig had probably no idea that he was doing that.
Right.
But what world would a player choose to join a Panda Cup finale instead of a Ludwig event?
Right.
On the same day.
Yeah.
That's my boss. This is where I keep my mouth shut. This is it. I'm listening.
It's unfortunate. Again, there's no malice here. He didn't intend that, but that's the reality. The reality is if Ludwig didn't run the Scuffed World Tour, or if he just ran on a different day, on Saturday or something, there was a potential for Panda to still be around today.
Did you feel there was no point in communicating that just because of the way things were? Or did you try to communicate? Yeah, no, I'm just asking.
How could you say the savior? How could you say Ludwig, the most popular influencer, the savior of the community, is at fault for killing for the final? Again, didn't cause it, but he was the final nail in the coffin for Panda to go under by accident. By accident.
I mean, I meant was there ever a direct communication between you two? No, because you just figured it wasn't worth it.
The last message I exchanged with Ludwig was I had sent him a few days prior to everything that happened a big invite to say, hey, I would love to put you in the VIP room. Come out. It's in downtown LA. We'd love to have you. We're not asking for anything. Just come and enjoy yourself. And then his response to that DM was, bro, after everything that came out. That was the last message I exchanged to Ludwig. Again, I wasn't CEO. There was a transition of power. There was nobody there to message Ludwig.
Right.
So would he have listened to us? I have no idea, man.
I will say that honestly, I've gotten and I worked the Scuff World Tour. I didn't know any of this stuff.
No one knew.
Obviously, because I just said, right. I'm not blaming Lud either. I think Lud's a great guy. I like Lud a lot. And I think had he been aware, if this happens, this could be kind of what makes or breaks Panda and then people's jobs. I fully believe it would have been just another day, but with everything going on, it's so much to have to balance, and it's very unfortunate that was the case for sure. I always appreciate anybody who does stuff for the community. Those circumstances are just unfortunate. That really is what it is. Unfortunate is the word I would pair with that.
It was the perfect storm.
Yeah,
we had a company, we had something very special with Panda, and it was all these little things that all came together to create this storm. And And I unfortunately also pulled up the stream chat. So someone says, "Down with Lud, please." No, again,
No.
Calm down, Jim.
he had the best intentions. He had
Yeah.
no idea. He had no
Right.
idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
blaming Lud. Let's get it straight. Lud's a friend to us in the
I'm
show, for the
definitely not
record.
blaming Lud.
Yeah, well, obviously. I call myself, look, Alan, you might know this. I call myself Lud Nig for a reason, okay? That's my boy, so it's all good over there. But with that said, could you tell us what, if the Panda Cup had ran without a hitch, with no problems at all, can you tell us what we could have expected? Because I've heard so many rumors about what could have been, like celebrity appearances and stuff like that. Can you tell us what we could have expected?
Oh yeah, we were actually working on Anamanaguchi. We were talking to them to create the theme song of the 2023. I really loved the Worlds theme stuff that League of Legends did. I wanted to bring a little bit of that element, and they're huge Smash fans. They were stoked about the idea, but we just had to get the negotiation done. So that 2023, that leak of that deck that one person did, someone sent that to me, that's real. It's an old deck, a little slightly older. I can probably pinpoint exactly who was the leaker because I sent different ones to different people. I don't care. I guess it was discredited because of the last tweet where they said that Super SmashCon got C&D'd, and someone from SmashCon said no, they didn't. Which, to the best of my knowledge, they did not get cease and desist this year. They did get the same thing Ludwig got. The notice of copyright infringement or something that Ludwig made a video on. Yeah. He got that as part of his event. And as far as I know, all he had to do was not use Frozen Stadium and he was fine. SmashCon, I think, was more intense than that. Wow. So they did receive a notice from Nintendo of copyright infringement. Again, to the best of my knowledge. But so that discreditation it was just a minor thing. They discredited the whole thing over that, but that's true. So 2023 was going to be 2 circuits. We were going to have a summer season and a winter season. Okay. We'd already booked the summer finale. The summer finale was going to be in downtown Seattle. Downtown Seattle. And we had booked actually for Sunday, Banner Royale Hall.
Wait, I thought it was LA. I remember my hotel was in LA.
Next year.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the next year, the summer finals, I hadn't figured out the name exactly. I was leaning towards summer finale, but I didn't want a summer finale and a grand finale.
Right.
I wanted like something else, like a summer split sort of thing, but not quite. So we were still ironing out the details of it. So the summer finals was going to be in downtown Seattle. And it was going to have, we already booked the venues for this. So this is another bill that Panda had to pay that couldn't pay because no money from sponsors anymore. But we also had Banner Royale Hall on that Sunday. Banner Royale Hall is a big symphony hall. And it's actually where Dota 2's International 2 was held. And so that was going to be in that hall. And it would have been I think it would have been a phenomenal event. We're still deciding what to do for the winner. If we want to stay in LA, we're going to let the finale happen and the first finale happen, and then decide if we want to stay there or not after that point. The date was not a date we chose. I got forced onto that date because I had a date on the private calendar, and then Smash World Tour booked over me, and I didn't want to compete with them. So I moved to the week before Christmas, which is not historically a very good date. But I was making the best of it. I was actually kind of excited about it because it was in downtown LA, right next to the ice skating rink, and there was going to be a lot of festivities there. Mm-hmm. I actually did an ad buy. I was in the middle of finalizing ad buy, so there's digital billboards that were in downtown LA, and there was going to be advertisements for the Panda Cup Finale there.
Oh,
and the finale was an open event, free to enter. No spectator fee. So we wanted people off the street to come in and discover Smash for the first time. That was one of the big goals. And we wanted to spread the love of Smash, and really remove the barrier to entry, because that was a big thing I did, was try to remove as many barriers to entry as possible. So we also had a lot of other fun things planned for 2023. We had technology we never were able to roll out. There was something called the danger gauge. I don't know if I ever showed this to you, EE.
The danger gauge. Okay. Talk to me.
All right.
We could have used that.
Yeah, right.
So it is a machine learning. We were still working the technology. It wasn't perfect yet, but it was working. we had a machine learning computer vision technology, so it could read a game of Smash as it was happening. My theory was that Smash is the easiest esport to watch in the world, but you can make it even easier by contextualizing every moment. And I was like, when you watch poker, you ever watch poker on ESPN?
I do. I watch poker.
Right?
Yeah, this would be crazy.
When you watch poker, you have no idea what the hell's going on unless you look at that percentage win rate on the side, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden, when you see that, you could appreciate the deeper game at play here. So I brought this concept to my engineering team, and they were able to create an amazing tool. They're a very, very skilled team, by the way, based off my idea. The danger gauge would show at any given time the danger someone could be KO'd at that given moment. And it would fluctuate based on their percentage, the matchups. So this danger gauge could actually tell what matchup they were in, the stage size, where they were positionally on the stage. So if you're closer to the edge, your danger gauge will go up.
Oh,
right?
God.
It's stuff like that
nuts.
would contextualize watching Smash to a spectator and be like, oh man, they're like, because what does 100 mean if you're Jigglypuff? What does 100 mean if you are Bowser? Those are completely different numbers. Right?
And I do feel like that's also one of the barriers, because a lot of people are like, isn't like the higher number supposed to be better? Like, no, the higher number is supposed to be worse. Like that would just eliminate that barrier.
So we actually had the technology working. Melee was the hardest one to get it working, because we had to also program in combos. So like, at what point could a drill, wave shine, up smash kill someone versus just an up smash like an ultimate?
He's center stage. No, he's in danger.
It was working, and actually have a video somewhere of the danger gauge working.
Was this ever public?
Nope.
Nobody ever knew about this.
Nope.
Wow.
Just internally.
Okay.
These were things we worked on at Panda, because at Panda, the concept was we wanted to remove every barrier to entry of watching competitive Smash to create as large of a fan base as possible. The more fans there are, the more successful everyone is. Players get more people watching their streams. The tournaments get more spectators as well. The sponsors are happy. Like, everyone is happier with more fans. There's no downside to more fans. So, I mean, I convinced investors to let me spend over $1.5 million making a GameCube controller. Like,
the Panda controller.
One of the biggest barriers of entry was you can't find a controller.
Right.
And one of my investors tried to find a game controller for her son. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find one. She struggled to find a game controller. So she understood that and allowed me to spend that much money on a game controller, which no one, like, that was a big point of contention with me raising money. A lot of people did not like the fact we were doing a controller. But I believed in the project, and based on how the Kickstarter did, I think I made the right choice.
Alan, that Kickstarter was beyond successful. Like, it crossed the $1 million mark, right?
Within 24 hours. I think.
Yeah, within 24 hours. That's insane, right? And then I remember, like, you had to eventually, like, kind of refund the money, right? You had to refund the money, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what was the real reason behind that? Because like, before, I remember reading it was something about manufacturers in China couldn't produce it or something like that.
That was true. There was never a lie there.
Okay.
It actually took 20 days for us to come to that statement alongside Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because after the third day, they wanted us to take it down, and we would have, but they said wait until we get the statement together.
So you knew oh, wow, that sucks.
Yeah. If you noticed, no one tweeted about it. No one talked about it on any social medias.
Yeah.
After the third day. Now, Nintendo didn't say don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
To clarify, they just said, we want you to go through our licensing division first.
Okay, got you.
And there was a little bit of wires getting crossed, because when I explained to them what we were doing, in the point of the Kickstarter was like, we need to raise money for R&D because this shit's expensive. Like, it's very expensive to make a controller.
Yeah.
Right.
To the caliber that we did. And so they said, oh, okay, we kind of understand, but I don't think they really understood how far along we were, that we'd show the product instead of just talk about the product. So the wires were crossed and said, hey, look, we would be a lot more comfortable, given that you guys are our partner, if you only really promoted licensed hardware. So they said they would hold our hand and help us through the licensing process that we'd go through like all the other partners.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And so we took it down with the idea that we would work on it more and get it licensed. So we were actually hoping, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we were hoping that we were going to get it ready in time for re-revealing at the Panda Cup Finale.
Right.
We actually spent a year improving the controller. So here's a soundbite for you that I think might shatter a few hearts, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
So we did a lot of small improvements to the controller in that whole year of development extra that we had. But two big things we did. Number one that we created was the buttons. A common complaint was that a lot of people didn't like the GameCube buttons. So we decided we were going to make the buttons on a plate. So you could remove the buttons. So you take off the front shell and then you remove the buttons very easily. So you could replace that with a diamond style Pro controller, or you could replace that with tactile if you like the mouse click feel, or you could replace that with any other kind of button set that you wanted.
Wow.
And if you wanted a custom one, modders could make that. We made everything very mod friendly to make as much business for modders as possible. And they were very excited about it too, from what they told me, at least directly. And then the other big thing we did was we created our very own Hall effect sensors. And
what is that?
You know what the fob is?
Yeah.
Yes.
The fob has Hall effect sensors in the control stick, and these essentially make the control stick more accurate and less prone to decay. Potentiometers, which are the things on the side of the control stick, on like those four things on the side of there, those are the first things that go out for a controller and make a controller go bad, and they wear out over time, and you have to replace them constantly. So we actually designed our very own Hall effect sensor that we applied for patent on, and not only was the Hall effect sensor going to be hopefully one of the best in class for a GameCube controller and mass produced, but we also designed it specifically so you could make it a drop-in replacement for any T3 stick box controllers. Translation: if you have a controller that you were using for years and you want that controller to have Hall effect sensors, you could go to a modder and they could put our sensors in that controller. We didn't want to gate people to have to get a Panda controller to get Hall effect sensors. We wanted that to be widely available. And we knew we could get that out earlier than the controller. So we thought we could start helping the community and at least finding decent controllers or repairing controllers infinitely easier by making a drop-in Hall effect sensor for T3 stick box. So,
all this, the controller, the danger gauge.
The controller dead. Danger gauge is dead.
It's all okay.
All this stuff is gone.
Okay.
PG Stats, the PGR, PGStats.com. Oh, we had a lot of stuff for PGStats.com planned too. So PGStats.com, my hope, one of the goals that we were going towards was making it have automatic coaching. Because we had that machine learning I talked about that could read a game of Smash, we also had a database of all the replays of like all of the best players, right? So it would go through the database, and then you could upload a game. Let's say you're Sonic versus a Pikachu, right? And you'd upload a game to PGStats.com. You could upload a game to PGStats.com. I'm looking at a fucking spiel behind EE. All right, like I have Sonic on my mind right now. Okay. So you upload that game to the system. The system would read your game. The AI would read your game that's happening right there, and then compare against every other top Sonic versus Pikachu matchups in its database and say, hey, you shield 50% more than top players do. You use this attack more, whereas top players use this attack more. We had the technology. We just need to finish it and roll it out. And we also had to figure out how to get the uploads done. That was server side stuff was going to be a bit more tricky.
Dude, that's insane. You put Metafy out of business.
No, I don't think that would replace Metafy. In fact, we had some discussions with Metafy about that technology and about using it hand in hand with them because it's just automated. The AI is not going to make you a better player per se. It'll just tell you what the differences are between you and a top player and stuff, and that might help. But I think that that information could be used by a top player to then explain it. Like, oh, you don't want to shield. You use a shield a lot. Let's see the instances you use a shield. You don't want to shield here. You want to run back here instead, or run forward. That sort of idea. I think it was hand in hand.
It's crazy how much quality of life stuff you have, and like we've barely even really talked. Well, we talked about it, but like the tournaments are everything, right? But you had so much prepared, like outside of just the tournaments, just so much stuff that would make people a lot more interactive with the game, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the tournaments themselves. I mean, you guys saw our player cards we designed using the same system that goes to our database. You guys saw our deep dive pieces, so the PGStats YouTube channel.
Yep.
My concept was that stats are beautiful, but no one understands how beautiful stats are, so we have to show them. We have to tell the stories of stats.
Yeah. Damn.
Something
That's
real
why
quick.
we did PGStats YouTube channel.
I gotta ask something real quick, which is not really related, but how interactive were you? Like, just because I know you were a very busy person, how interactive were you with like the people you sponsor and stuff like that? I'm just curious of that because I'm in like one of those few scenarios that, you know, it's really hard for people to like have direct communication with like the top boss, you know, and I'm one of the lucky people who's able to do that because I'm sponsored under Charlie and he's just a really like, he has a lot more time than you would think. So I'm able to talk to him when I can. And so I'm just curious because I know obviously Mars being one of my closer friends being on your team and he loved you. So I was just always
he was 10 toes down about Panda.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure
respect.
Mars is one of those people who definitely would. I don't think he would have ever left unless he was forced to, which I'm pretty sure he was forced to. So yeah. So I just was curious if you ever were able to be like interactive with your team.
I had to tone it down. Yeah, making decisions as a CEO is very difficult when you're genuinely friends with your staff.
That's fair.
Like letting players go when like they were like really actually friends. Like I used to house them at my home. My mom used to drive us at Big House because Big House is in my backyard. My mom used to make banana bread for the players and drive us to the events together. And this is, I mean, we're still like I raised $10 million at Panda, spent every penny in Smash, but that didn't mean I wanted that to change how they're treated like human beings.
Yeah,
that was a big part of why we started. But making the hard choices was more and more difficult. So I had to find someone that the players would really connect to, and I found someone, the player manager, who sort of took my place with talking to players as often as possible. You know, they really enjoyed him quite a bit too, and I'm very thankful for that. But that barrier was very, very important for the health of the company and for me to be able to make impartial decisions because it's tough. It's tough. Like letting someone go that you don't want to let go and you want to have faith in them.
Yeah.
And you've given them, you know, try it or chance and just nothing ever worked out. And you're like, I don't want to do this. I mean, hell, I even reached out to Cosmos like twice after he left us and talked to him.
Sorry, I was holding back. Sorry. I was holding back from the meanest Cosmos stray, and I was trying just so hard not to say anything.
I still believe in Cosmos as a player and a content creator. If you ever wanted to go ham on that,
Cosmos.
I do too. I actually think Cosmos is the biggest. What? No, let me go. Let me know.
No. I appreciate all you guys. You know what? All these strays, they're all out of love. They're all out of love. And I really genuinely appreciate it.
I think you could be one of the biggest content creators in Smash, and I think you were in that position at one point, and I think you gave it up, and I understand why you gave it up, but I really want to see that consistency out of you again because I truly believe that you could do it.
I appreciate that. I really do. Really do appreciate that. But before I do say anything, because I do have like some questions too, but I do want to say that hearing you talk about that entire experience, like how the fall was and like how that all went down, that really did that's kind of why I was like a little bit silent for a while, because I kind of feel like I could relate to that in a sense, because like whenever like K-Tara got canceled, like it kind of fell onto the house as well. And like I was getting called a lot of things. Like I was like getting a lot of the flack for that because I was the other biggest person in the house, in the Smash community, because obviously Savanas was in the house too. He had like a million subs, but he wasn't really in the Smash sphere.
Right.
I was getting a big hit from that too, and it was really hard to deal with that. So I really do feel like I can relate with that, and I am really sorry that happened to you too, because I would not even. I feel like I heard you say it as well, like you would not wish what happened on your worst enemy too, because that's genuinely how I felt as well. And like I wasn't even in the highest position where that happened. I was just like kind of caught in the crossing fire, and it really did suck. Obviously, like I'm not like condoning whatever he did because it was really bad too, but just being not really associated to it and still catching flack for it is really unfortunate. And to see that other Panda players were catching flack for that as well, like that definitely does hurt to hear.
When I got the messages of people leaving Panda, I told them I can't blame you. Like, you have to do the best thing for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, even though it was pretty extreme what I received, I wish it was only on me.
Right.
If it was only on me and there wasn't any spillage,
Right.
there wouldn't have been a boycott, you know, of the Panda Cup. There wouldn't have been, theoretically, right? This is a hypothetical world that we're talking about. I think Panda could have survived.
Right.
It's crazy because
like,
you couldn't even really do that either, because people just believed, like, even if you were out of the picture, that, you know, you'd be working behind the scenes. So like there was like no realistic way for like Panda to survive that.
Whatever that guy was, LG or something, the guy who I never knew who he was until everything that went down.
LD.
I don't even know who
Are you
that
talking
is.
about LD? Are you talking about LD from Summit?
Sure, I don't care what his name is. You know, he was memeing about how I'm still controlling Panda from behind the scenes. No, when I left Panda, it took like 3 or 4 days of transition stuff, and then I was out. You know, and that was it. And so, despite the memes, I have not been involved in Panda. I actually not really too fond of the fact it says in the title, Dr. Allen of Panda.
Oh, my bad.
Formerly of Panda.
Right,
to
right.
be accurate. Like,
I'm
because
ignorant. You know that, Doc. I'm ignorant. I'm sorry.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, bro?
Panda still exists. It's a skeleton crew, as far as I know. Like 10 or less people. They do back end things now. So I'm not involved. I don't really know what they're up to at the moment. I know of general high level things.
So in any capacity, because like I guess all this stuff is just defunct. Like there's just no shot of like any of the product, the technologies, the ideas. They could never like come back in any kind of form, shape under like Panda or like a rebranded brand. Like you're just done. You're out. You're done for good. What do you think?
I find it difficult. Like, even if everyone came back and said, we're so sorry and stuff, like the damage done to Panda was like a supernova. Panda was like a once in a lifetime thing of crossing of incredibly talented people that don't ever want to come back to Smash. A lot of them, like, they were all so burned.
Yeah.
For what happened, the sponsorship damage that was done as well. I mean, reversing everything is possible with time and effort, but then I have to say to myself, do I want to do that? I'm 37, man. I think I can make a bigger difference outside of Smash than I can
LeBron.
Smash now. And Smash, from what I can tell, Smash is just smaller now. There's less to do. Like,
took
there's
several hits,
lower numbers, you know, and like I don't want to say Smash is dying, but it's certainly like
stagnated.
Yeah, it's shedding a lot of like its bigger audience, and that's while sad, and I still have a lot of love for what Smash could be. I have to look at people saying that they can't believe anything I say. I have to look at people in the Reddit thread legitimately calling me Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I don't think they know who that is. These comparisons are OD. Which I
have to deal with all that, and does that make sense for me?
No, it does not.
So the answer isn't exactly a no, but more of a what reason would I have to come back and do things? Now, if they want to revive the Panda Cup at Panda again, which again I have no idea if they would ever want to do that, more power to them. You know, that doesn't mean Panda can't do Panda Cup things, but also people try to divorce me from everything good Panda ever did, which is very fun to watch. How like people are saying, look at all the great stuff Panda Global did. We could just do all of that without Alan. It's like, I did a lot of that. I give all the credit to my team. Again, they were the incredible people that made my visions and my dreams come true,
right?
And my ideas, but they came from me. I did have to convince investors to give me $10 million and spend it on Smash. Right.
Yeah, that's you're completely right about that. It's really I imagine it's very hard to convince people to get interest in a game that's like notoriously known from not getting support from like anybody. So like,
and everything else that's been happening, like saying very hard is just an understatement too, honestly.
So
yeah, we got into a rhythm with
the community usually bites.
Yeah, once you figure out how Nintendo, like, you understand their like what works for them and what doesn't work for them, we're able to get approval for some things within a couple of days, like of using character IP, which is usually a big process.
Yeah,
because we just like Keith actually knew very well what their guidelines were and like would design a graphic and then it'd be like, yep, perfect, done.
Nice.
So like it's not once you it took me 3 years of work with Nintendo to understand Nintendo, but like once you did well enough, it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
actually think working with Nintendo helped our product become better.
Yeah, it seemed like a good experience because I remember like everybody was very like I'm friends with a lot of people on that Nintendo team. They're very enthused about the project, and that's why one of the reasons I thought it sucked that everything ended so prematurely. For sure. I mean, hey, maybe you never know. They might elect to bringing some sort of Nintendo circuit in their own capacity back. I mean, off the work that maybe Panda Cup brought.
Okay, so this is a common misconception. You do not want a Nintendo circuit.
We don't want a Nintendo circuit.
No. A Nintendo branded Nintendo circuit will be done in a Nintendo way. There will never be a Nintendo circuit with a big prize pool. That's so antithetical to who they are. It's against everything they stand for. You can look in their history. Any Nintendo branded event doesn't have cash prizes. It's not your classic let's do esports event.
Right.
The Panda Cup was Nintendo's foray into allowing the community to become more official and more competitive and more professional.
Gotcha.
That was the closest thing you're going to get to their circuit.
And now it's
so I hear people say, why can't Nintendo just come in and do the thing? Okay. It is the most successful game, esports in the world, League of Legends. Would you all agree with that?
Most successful?
I think so, right?
Yeah. Popular, yeah.
Well, shouts to Faker.
One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
It's one of them.
You know that they've said several times the LCS still loses the money, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Now I know that. I know that's true. Yes. Okay.
That's the biggest esport. That's an esport that has a game as a live service that can sell skins, and they still lose money.
Yeah.
That's
what
true.
world would Nintendo want to do their own esport? I mean, if they pull the marketing budget for Smash one day, because guess what? They don't have skins or DLC. Poof. There goes a circuit. Like there's so many problems with the concept of a Nintendo circuit that people don't truly fully understand. I understand the desire. Let me, without a doubt, you'd love to have the same thing that Capcom gives or that, but Nintendo isn't Capcom. Nintendo isn't Sony. They're not Riot. Nintendo is Nintendo, and they do Nintendo things. And that's why we love them. But with the good comes the bad. You have to shift your expectations. So if you want a Nintendo circuit, it's going to be a Nintendo circuit. They were down with the way Panda Cup was doing things. In fact, we were actually about to announce that week a doubling of the prize pool. The milk sponsorship brought us a lot more money. So we were going to take it from a 100K prize pool to a 200K prize pool. And we were going to do I don't think we finalized the number. It was between $15,000 to $20,000 donation. We're going to get a list of 3 charities. Both winners of Melee and Ultimate could choose from one of those 3 charities and have a 15, 20K donation in their name to that charity. I was going to hopefully have like DCRF, like Trevor Project was going to be another one. And we're still working out the third. We had a couple ideas like St. Jude's and stuff. So that was that week. We were going to announce that because the milk partnership brought us a lot of liquidity.
I see what you did there.
Liquids, yeah. We were going to have chocolate milk on site as well. Just take shots of chocolate milk if you wanted to.
Alan, this is
stomach aches in the venue.
Yeah. This has probably been like, I told people like we were going to get like some information that I felt like was going to help put things more into context. And you've given us so much more. And most importantly, your time as well, which I super appreciate. I'm out of questions. I've gotten more information than I could have expected to digest. I don't know if my co-hosts have anything else they'd like to ask you before we let you get out of here.
You want to go first?
The only question I have is, obviously, one thing I do want to say is that I know that you said that you were learning from Zen Buddhism, and I really do feel like I can, because I don't really know like I'm not really like a religious person or anything, or like a really like spirit. Like I call myself more spiritual more than anything. And I really do feel like I can feel your energy, and like I really do appreciate that the energy I feel is very positive from you. and I just want to say that I am happy that I can feel that kind of energy from you. Outside of that, I do want to ask, because I know like I was part of Panda in the past too. And I know that we had a lot of big plans. I know Panda had a lot of big plans, and it was very family friendly organization. Outside of that, I do know that when I was on Panda, like we didn't always see eye to eye, and like we had like some backtracks and stuff. But I do genuinely want to like ask, like, what did you think about me as a player on Panda?
A lot of wasted potential. Like, we wanted to tap into you. And that's why we kept trying different things. We invested in you in a lot of ways.
Down.
We to be frank, Cosmos, we lost a lot of money on you because we invested in you in a lot of different things. And rather than just giving you a big salary, we tried like doing different content related things. But what we didn't realize, and I don't know if you knew at the time, but that didn't really gel with what you wanted to do and what made you happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you were in your own path of discovery at that time as well. So, but at the end of the day, when we had you, it was really just like you're a ball of potential, and we weren't able to tap into that ball. That's certainly a regret that I have. But, you know, obviously when you were unhappy, I let you out of contract, you know, you know, that when you said you were done, was okay. And I released you, you know, we just took that loss on the chin.
Right. And I did really appreciate that, because I feel like that was one of the things that we did not see, or the main thing that we didn't see eye to eye on, was because back then, obviously, it was like more so like it was right after I moved out. And the reason why I moved out of my house, because I wanted to be like the best Smash player in the world. And like, I know that what Panda wanted from me was like more content focused, but what I wanted more so out of myself in that moment was to be the best Smash player in the world. And obviously, like, that's not essentially sustainable for like, everything else. I mean, people were saying that she was one of the best characters in the game. It was working out for me at that point.
I still believe.
No.
I still believe.
Some people still believe Charles does it. I can tell you that. But I do think that back then I was more immature. I do feel like I matured more throughout the years since then. And I do think that, obviously I know now that like content is more like the way to solidify your future, because there's no way that you can, even if you are the #1 player for all time for the rest of your life, you're not going to be able to make a sustained future for yourself forever. Because at some point you're going to have to stop competing. It's very, very, like, I won't say it's impossible, but it's very, very unlikely that Smash will ever get to the point where you will make enough money from winning tournaments consistently. And content is always just the future that you want to go towards.
My dream was to build this irrigation using the Panda Cup. That's really how I viewed the Panda Cup, was an irrigation channel. So when you irrigate farmland, right, you're digging a ditch and you're putting water in, and the water goes all around all the crops, right? That was the concept. Because, you know, you're one of the most popular commentators in Ultimate, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
You are, right? Let's be honest.
He's fallen off.
If you wanted to get married, buy a house, and have some kids, could you do that right now from the income you make from Smash?
That's a resounding hell no, which I theorize is the reason I could never get Pokey to return a DM. How them cookies working out for you?
The goal wasn't that Pokemon to DM you back, but the goal was to get that stability, not just for players. Players were important. There had to be a pro player, like an actual career of just playing. Like Faker, he can retire just playing. Like he streamed like 3 times in his life.
Oh, of course.
I don't know. I don't really follow that closely, but you know, he's Faker, right?
Right.
Well, MKLeo or you know, Hungry Box for a little while, depending on who you think the GOAT is, Mango or Armada, they can't retire on their savings or on their winnings, right?
Right.
A football player can play for a few years and then retire, and if they use their money well enough, be set for life.
Yeah,
basketball player.
Right? But I also wanted the production teams. I wanted people in the back end, the people that really worked hard, like the TOs and everything like that, to have income. These tournaments lose money.
They do.
Most of them lose money. This is so unsustainable. Like, once you actually lift the veil and look at the finances, you're like, what the hell is this? There's no reason to run a tournament. None. None. But they do it out of love, out of passion, because they want to, and they do a damn good job most of the time. Don't want to give a blanket, great job to everyone.
Yeah, that's a fact.
They don't get they get nothing but flack. Like, being a TO online is an awful, incredibly stressful thing on social media. But they deserve more for what they do. And that was the point of the Panda Cup. We brought a lot of money to a lot of the tournaments, not every tournament, but a lot of the tournaments we worked with brought a lot of money. And then I have to watch people say that I strong-armed tournaments or I threatened them. Why would I threaten people to take my money? I was offering them okay, so again, hearsay, but as far as I know, Smash World Tour didn't offer the tournaments any money.
Please threaten me, Alan. Please threaten the shit out of me. Okay.
Right? And you can attest. Okay, so we paid for production for some tournaments. That was I think for one tournament, it's like a $90,000 bill that we paid for on Panda's end to take that expense off their books. We paid for you. Did you get paid well?
I got paid. It's any Panda event I worked was one of the most well-paying gigs I ever had in Smash. My time in Smash.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
We tried our best to make sure that people were made whole, that people were paid fair wages. Wasn't always successful. Again, we tried our best. But this was something that I really, really wanted to accomplish and that I felt the Smash community deserved. And I got flack from TOs, by the way. Multiple TOs told me they were upset at how much I paid you.
Yeah.
Me specifically?
No, I mean, they also wanted to blacklist you, but I fought back.
Damn!
Whoa. You tried to blacklist the black male? Listen, okay.
I should have whitelisted you, buddy.
It's not a race joke.
Let's get one thing clear right now. You can't get rid of this guy, okay? You can't. You want to know why you can't get rid of this guy? Because I understand no means no. I understand what's appropriate and not appropriate. You can get mad because I like to joke around and have a good time, okay? Just because I don't walk around and stick up my ass, okay? But you know what? You can sit there and you could try and you could scheme, you could plot, and you could try and put these new little Jimmy puppeteer commentators in the position. Ain't gonna happen, nigga. Because the events that matter, the squad is always at. Ooh, and you can sit on that, and you can digest that, and I love that shit. And you're watching right now, and you're giving me that view, and you're giving me that revenue, and your dumbass didn't even realize it. But you're already an hour into the podcast, so it don't even matter. Thank you, Al.
Notice how he said give him that revenue? We don't see it.
All right, we're gonna figure that out. Can we stop?
I can definitely tell you we're gonna see this one though.
Yeah, you want to split the $50 you're gonna make from this 3 ways?
There you go, man. It's like 75.
If Alan ran this podcast, I'd see the margins.
That's true. Alan, do you want to come run our podcast? Give us a line to these sponsorships. Oh my god!
Therapist says I should start a podcast. I got a lot of cool shit that I've learned over the last year that I love teaching people about.
Wow.
Yeah. I was gonna say
that's crazy,
I didn't really have a question for you, but I just want to say, like you said, you also saw the Reddit thread, and I saw it as well. And just like you, I don't usually look at Reddit. I usually see these things the same way you see it, where like people will send them to you. It's kind of like they kind of like not like force it on you, but like they try to make you aware, even though you're not looking for it.
Yep.
So I feel that. And I hated a lot of the comments on Reddit. Reddit honestly like tries to make it's like they try to make you scared to do things because they like they depict people as bad people or they depict things as right or wrong because they think they can play God and stuff. And I just think it's really cool that we were able to have you on the episode to get your opinion because, like I said, no matter what, above everything, I just like talking to people, like seeing people's side of things. And I like to see that you're doing well and that you're happy with yourself and everything that you've grown through in this past year. It's really cool to see that because not a lot of people who were in the position where they got canceled were able to like bounce back as well as you have. And like, again, I think everyone figured you'd do well because you obviously didn't put all your bags into this because you're a doctor. But like, even so, it's still nice to see you being healthy and doing your thing. I think that comes before everything. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. I like to see people alive and happy and healthy. So I'm very happy to see you
Thank you.
that.
But what sucks is the people who didn't land on their feet after Panda, people that didn't get jobs. I really cared a lot about my team. I have a lot of regrets, certainly. About the things that happened, how they happened. I mean, a huge regret of mine is, I don't think anyone really knows this. Business is difficult, and there's a lot of weird nuances in business. So in early 2022, early, we had secured another like $1.3 million or something to come into the company from investors. And we also had some sponsorship money that was going to come too, but they're all like 4 to 6 weeks away. And we just got to this awkward lull that has happened a couple times at Panda where the cash flow was bad.
Mhm.
We couldn't pay our bills. The money was coming, but it wasn't coming immediately. And I didn't want to skip out on paying people.
Yeah.
So we were in a tight spot. And being a CEO is kind of lonely sometimes. So I was actually venting to my mom about it. And she actually said, hey, I could probably cover you for this month. I could give you a personal loan, better rates than a bank would give you, so you can pay your staff. And I said, okay. I allowed her to give us a personal loan, so I could pay the bills until we got the sponsorship money and got the money from investors. And I'll pay you back after the finale happens. Once the cash flow flux is a little bit better for us.
Right.
I didn't know at the time, but that was her life savings.
Oh my Lord.
Jesus Christ. And
my mom lost her life savings. 35 years at Ford as an engineer.
Yeah.
She was an incredible woman. Way before women ever did engineering, she was one of the very few, only woman in her entire class. And that's gone.
Yeah.
I lost my life savings too. I poured everything I had, every penny into Panda. I emptied my bank account again in like August of last year, for the controller, to pay the team there. Thinking that it was just temporary, thinking that everything was going to work out. There's a lot of things I'm still trying to come to peace with.
For sure.
Right.
Understandable.
That's... it is what it is, and it's unfortunate that like I have after everything that happened, I had too much time to think, and I went back through logs. I have actually recordings with TOs of conversations I had with them. I forgot I took recordings of them. I have mountains and mountains of evidence to disprove basically every claim about me. I think the only thing they actually said that was real was that I knew the Smash World Tour was not going to be okay with Nintendo, and I'm like, why? Why bother putting this out there? Why bother stirring up the ship? What's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need to be vindicated. What everyone says, oh, great. Alan was telling the truth. Alan's right. I mean, sure, okay, great. Then what? It's not going to change the community outlook. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to do anything. There's no point in that. Plus, I've unfortunately discovered there is there is something in medicine that I relate to this. So, of course, as a doctor, I relate things to doctor stuff.
Yeah.
There are anti-vaxxers, right? And this is pre-COVID anti-vaxxers, right? These are people that every year flu shot time comes around. I'm like, hey, time for your flu shot. I just got mine, from the same batch. Let's get it for you too.
Yeah.
And some people would say, oh, I don't get flu shots. Okay, why not?
Yeah.
My job as a doctor is to oftentimes educate people and to discuss with them. And so, oh, it has mercury, it has thermosil, or it has this, or it has that. And I sit down and I show them with evidence. This isn't true. This isn't true. This isn't true. Then they come back the next time. You want a flu shot yet? Oh, well, this thing, and some new things they bring up. And then I said, this isn't true. This isn't true. And I realized no matter how long I spent with these people, I literally would spend an hour or so with them. They never got their flu shot, ever. They would always come up with something else, some other piece of evidence that no matter how much data I show, they give me anecdotes or say, this one person had a bad reaction. Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's no point in doing that. And I realized there's a subset of the Smash community that is just like that. They are like Smash anti-vaxxers. And they've done entire studies on anti-vaxxers, by the way, to say what sort of arguments could work for them. And there was basically, I think, visual, like a video was one of the only things that ever helped, but like nothing else worked to convince them that vaccination wasn't bad, that didn't cause autism,
right?
Despite the thousands of studies proving that doesn't cause autism. That's the same thing in the Smash community. I could sit here showing page after page of evidence. They would. And they wouldn't.
That's all.
Ever think that I'm not a villain. They won't ever say that I didn't destroy the community, because that's what they want to believe. That's That is their world view. And that's what sort of disheartens me as well. And makes me realize there's no point in trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
I mean, again, what value is there in that?
I think the real value came from what you just told us. I mean, I think all the insight that you shed in from like the before, the during, the after, just much to be appreciated. And like, you know, we know our audience, like, you know, a lot of people will give you the benefit of the doubt. They will believe you. There'll be some people who are still detractors who will not, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But either way, we couldn't be more grateful for you giving us your time, because this was beyond informative. And like I said, dude, like, I hope this came to you feel like this was a comfortable setting for you to talk and express yourself. And that was the goal here.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite. And, you know, I'm sure I caused more questions than answers for a lot of people. But, you know, I don't know if I'll ever be or will be active on my social media again. I do want to eventually take back my Twitter, because, like, I'd like to be able to use Twitter again, but not for Smash. There's like a lot of medical stuff that I really love right now.
Yeah, of course.
Like longevity science and like the Zen stuff too is really cool. AI, by the way, is the open AI stuff. Oof, that's so much fun. I don't know if you guys have followed that at all. It's insane.
Alan, of all the things you said today, that could get us in the most trouble. So we're going to end it there. Thank you, my friend, for joining us. And we'll be in touch soon, man. Take care. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, man. You have a good day.
All right. Wow.
Oh man,
that was wild. Like in a good way. Like that was so informative and just so much more stuff. Like, wow.
I just want to say that last thing he talked about with, like, you know, the anti-vaxxer analogy.
Yeah.
I know me and Cosmos relate to that on a very heavy level. Like, that hit hard.
That was literally like,
that was my life. Like,
yes, that's like verbatim what we live.
And, you know, I made like a post. Well, I didn't make the post. I made like a 10. It was a very long post that I wrote up on Twitter last night, like at 4 a.m. Right. And I didn't post it, but like that reminded me a lot of my posts, because I think a lot of my fear from like making content and a lot of like the stuff that scares me into making content or doing anything or having spot is that I always want to, like, if I was like content creator, I wouldn't want to be like an influencer.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that is because I don't really want to have a voice where like you get held accountable for every little thing you say. And it feels like there's just this group of negativity that just constantly comes at you. And I feel like that the reason I feel that way is because everyone has to deal with that, but I feel like it's very strong in our community and the Smash scene. And it's very scary seeing that and just knowing there's a group out there that almost feels like they just seek your downfall.
Yeah.
And it's really sad seeing that. And it's scary and relatable seeing other people talk about that. You know, it's something that really scares me. I think there's a lot of people in this community that remind you of how much bad you can do rather than remind you of all the good you can do as well.
Right. Yeah.
And I think when he talked about that last part, that part really hit home for me, because that is literally where a lot of my personal fear comes from. And like I said, Cosmos, we've talked about this stuff a lot before. So I know that's a lot. Yeah, we talk about this every day. Like this is like, this comes off as just a topic point, but this is like, to get real, this is a depressing point that comes off in our major talk, like in a hotel room, and it majors at least like probably once a tournament, where it's like we feel like we're just scared.
Yep. Literally, that's literally what it comes down to. We're just scared, and it is scary because, like, I feel like the way that I kind of live life is how he explained it, and what he was basically explaining is that, like, you can't convince somebody. Like, if somebody does not want to be convinced, you cannot convince them. They have to be open-minded enough to want to be convinced. And basically, there's a lot of people in the Smash community, or just in the gaming community in general, but in our Smash community, that don't want to be convinced, and they believe something specifically, and they force that ideal down your throat. And it's like, you don't want to be like, you don't want to be a part of that sphere, essentially, which is why Light and I are basically scared of like social media. Like, that's one of the reasons why I was scared about, like, whenever I was becoming a very big content creator, I didn't want to be like in that sphere. I was scared that, like, oh, I'm gonna be in the position that Nara was in, or like this person. I was like, I kind of like would rather be a YouTuber than a big streamer where I'm always on camera all the time, where someone can just like basically be watching,
hyper analyze everything you do. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, that's going on Twitter. That's what I was terrified of the entire time. And like, there are literally like, the more viewers you have in your stream, the more people that are watching your stream doing specifically that. Obviously, not everybody's watching you doing that, but
it's not. Sorry, it's not even about like everybody doing that. It's just, I feel like the community that we're in specifically, again, they remind you of all the bad that you can do, and they never remind you of all the good you do. And it makes you feel like every time something happens that it is way too possible that you are also capable of doing these bad things.
Yeah,
exactly. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, and it makes you feel like shit because it's just like, you know, you wouldn't do it, but it feels like people want you to do it in a way.
Of course, they want you to fail.
Yeah, it's really depressing because it's just like,
I hear it all the time.
Yeah, but honestly, it's one of the reasons I never wanted to even do like the podcast in the first place, right? And of course, my partners convinced me to do the podcast, and I'm thankful for that because this is to EE and Cosmos. This is my introduction to content. This is supposed to get me comfortable to make more content in the future. But I still get scared of that stuff. Shit, I was scared of having Alan on the show. It's not because I think Alan's an evil person. It's because I have to worry about the opinions of people who prey on each other's downfall and stuff like that. You know, it's just a scary concept. You know, it's really scary to deal with. But yeah, I think it's crazy that he shed a light on that because we can't talk about it a lot.
Yeah, and I will say that I do think that one of the reasons why I'm more like comfortable and more excited to do content is because of this podcast, because this podcast is literally like, the theme of this podcast is teetering the line. So like, we are basically like knocking on death's door the entire time, but we're not opening it the entire time. So it's like, it basically makes us like okay with the fact that like, okay, we can say this and people are going to think whatever they want about it, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, we are who we are and we will always be who we are.
For example, people are going to look at the podcast today and take it as we think fuck Gimmer or something like that, but it's
not at all.
That like, I love Gimmer.
There was no anti-VGBC here. They are friends as well.
I love all the stuff that Gimmer does. I've talked to Gimmer. Last time I saw him was at Rewired. I appreciate his opinions. I love that dude a lot. And honestly, he's also just like how PG is for some, VGBC being near me helped build my career and all that, right? I love them. I love BTS. And this wasn't a podcast about whether Alan who was right, who was wrong. This was simply a podcast to see how Alan's doing, see what he had planned, see what could have been or what potentially could have been. We still don't know, but see his outlook on things. And I'm very happy that we did that. Yeah, now, one thing that I think is really funny that I will say, and I wasn't going to mention it while Alan was here because I didn't want it to come into a conversational point, but as I was on the Reddit thread, I saw people like bringing up like fact checking things we say or like bringing up things we say. And someone mentioned the Sylvanas episode. So I went back to the Sylvanas episode.
Yeah, right.
And he did make one really good point that I will side with, which is when he was like, I don't understand why BTS came out to like basically help get rid of Panda. They came out to help get rid of Panda, and then they just self-destructed, and they were like,
they Cybermen.
they Majin Vegeta, and it's like, what was the point of that if you weren't going to be part of the community anymore?
That was fucking hilarious.
It's funny. I do kind of agree with it, but either way, this isn't an episode about who's right or wrong, and I'm happy we got a lot of these points out because I'm not going to lie, that tweet I thought about making, I just talked about a lot of it now and I never thought I would be able to get that out. Yeah, so even just getting that out felt really great. So thank you to Alan for being on the show. And this was an amazing episode.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
And I don't want to end it just on that because I do want to get some predictions because we're gonna talk about this next week. There's a tournament happening overseas called UFA. That's Ultimate Fighting Arena. It has an ultimate bracket there. Highlighted players are first seed T, second Gluto, MKLeo's third, Kurama, Siski, Bloom, Tarek, and Raflo. That makes up your top 8 seeds.
He's winning.
I was going to say, just give me your quick predictions on that.
You said T's winning?
T is winning because T wins every single tournament that he enters in France.
Okay, that's fair. I want Leo to win. I think Gluto will win because, again, if you are a top player, you know Gluto is freaking amazing at this game. Yeah. And as long as he doesn't get gimmicked, he is like the best. He is the best adapter in Ultimate. He probably has the best fundamentals in Ultimate.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
I think, once again, am I gonna go with my heart or my head here?
I want Leo to win.
I want Leo to win.
Head says Gluto takes this tournament. Heart says Leo. And you know what? I'm gonna follow my heart. I'm going with Leo to take this tournament down. I know the seeding has been designed so to avoid any kind of conflicts, and they're kind of avoid explaining to me how a lot of them are like kind of interchangeable, so it's not like a big deal. So I'm gonna once again say MKLeo wins this weekend.
I will say that I genuinely do believe Leo will end up in grand finals.
That's good. I want him to. Someone just said that Gluto lost to T at Port and he got shit on. That's exactly why I think he will win. Because again, he's very easy to cheese. He is super easy to cheese. But once he learns your matchup and he adapts on you, he's like the best player in the world, bro. It's like actually crazy.
It's a different story.
Him losing to T is just information for him, for the next event. So I don't think that means too much. I mean, obviously I could be wrong. T is amazing. He's one of my, if not my favorite Japanese player. So I think he's going to do really good, obviously. Also, he's funny as hell.
He is. Well, we shall see what results come of that tournament next week. You guys obviously see the result of the podcast today. A great episode. We covered a lot of things. And thank you again, Dr. Allen, for stopping by and just giving us all that kind of different insight. But if you guys enjoyed
blacklisted.
Apparently, I got to dig into that.
Do you think it was the jacket?
It might. Listen, okay. It ain't coming off. It ain't coming off. I'll tell you that much. But we need you guys to keep coming back. That's why it's important. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the vibes, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
I promise next week there will be a Patreon.
Peace.
Peace.